Wonderful gift, but you really play with our emotions, man. You ever feel guilty about that?
Well, maybe manipulate was not a well-chosen word. Maybe the exercise of a certain craft might be a better way of putting it. We have, in certain scenes, a genuine emotional target.
Right.
Where we want to touch people in a certain way, an aggressive way, or a gentle way, a soothing way, a healing way. All of these things will be in your mind. If it's to be healing, what does that?
Yes.
So much of a process of how we learn our language, our general education and acculturation and so on, all of these things are all linked together.
John Williams, born February 8, 1932. He grew up in LA with his brothers and his parents, which were all musically inclined.
I think that John Williams is one of the most prolific film composers. He kind of rivals Hans Zimmer a little bit.
By high school, John was a pianist and fluent in 3 other instruments. He was able to create his own small band, and his band nicknamed him Curly.
One of the big problems in composing for film is the fact that it is a restriction. There's the inhibition of time, there's the inhibition of the amount of sound room that you've got. We've talked about sound effects before and dialogue. There's a lot of things that have to coexist with the music. In a concert hall, one doesn't have to worry about. It may take 2 years to shoot a film, but we may have 8, 10, or 12 weeks to do all the editing, the mixing of the sound, the composing and recording of the music.
His first symphony was created when he was 18 years old. In 1953, John played the piano in the TV show called Staccato. He later moved on to work in Hollywood orchestras, playing the piano for pieces for films and for other TV shows.
Right away, when you hear a certain thing from one of his movies, you're like, oh, that's from Indiana Jones, or oh, that's from Star Wars, or oh, that's from Jurassic Park, you know. And not a lot of film scores have that ability to really make people understand like where they would be in a certain scene or who would be coming in to a certain scene. But I think that John Williams does a great job of portraying that and really making it accessible for audiences to latch on to certain things that are in his films, and his scores in the films.
In the 1980s, he had been in 45 plus major films, and in 2016, he had been produced in over 117.
We had all liked the Jaws score very much. It was a traditional symphonic score. And we went through a period in feature films where traditional scores were not used. Popular music scores and jazz scores were the rage in the 60s into the early 70s. We felt for Star Wars that it was very important that it be a traditional romantic score.
He later went on to write for Vic Damone and Mariah Jackson. He was also the piano player in the 1962 movie To Kill a Mockingbird. This is when he started composing for 2 to 3 movies a year.
I wonder, Mr. Williams, if you might say a word to us. And I deliberately don't want to color this question much more, but I wonder if you might say a word to us about the power that music is pregnant with to help us connect and even at times revel in the humanity of the character. And I think that I don't purport to speak for everybody in this room, but I think I can on this one, which is to suggest that when we see film, the films that work best for us are the films where we can connect to the humanity in the character.
It is a magic. And an evening like this, it isn't a bad idea to quote Alfred Hitchcock, who said, I don't think exactly word for word, but in film, music represents the words that cannot be spoken.
Technology hasn't changed John Williams' way of writing music. He doesn't own a computer. He doesn't use any editing software to create his masterpieces. He uses a good old pen, paper, and piano.
Johnny is quite adept at finding the point of view for a scene and augmenting the emotion that's there.
He uses a lot of techniques that actually Richard Wagner used in a lot of opera, which is called the leitmotif, which he uses a lot in Star Wars. So, for instance, if Darth Vader were to walk in, you would know Darth Vader's walking in because of the music that's playing. You'd hear bum 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 bum. So everyone knows that they associate that sound with Darth Vader. Or with Indiana Jones, you hear bum ba dum bum bum ba dum, right? And you know exactly that Indiana Jones is walking in the room, you know. And you hear the Jurassic Park soundtrack too, and you know exactly, oh, there's dinosaurs in the distance, you know. So I think that his music is very accessible. That's kind of what I think about his music, and he uses a lot of big scores, meaning like big orchestras, big brassy parts with a lot of like full sounds, and I think that that's like awesome, because I just love listening to that kind of stuff with like getting immersed in that sound.
It may take 2 years to shoot a film, but we may have 8, 10, or 12 weeks to do all the editing, the mixing of the sound, the composing and recording of the music. For financial reasons and reasons of a distribution of the film and theater availability and so on, we have not all that much time. That's a composer really needs to write with fluidity to do well consistently in film.